What is up? It's JC Money and Coach Craig. This is the JC Money and Coach Craig Sports Show. We're here to talk about SuperDraft Pro and lineups tonight for basketball. So, let's get into it right away. We can talk about, some of the guys that kind of busted last night. Some of the guys that did really well. So we got, what do we got? Well, we got our new segment here, Studs, Duds, and I think it was
Dart Throw Darlings.
Dart Throw Darlings. That's what it is. So let's get into it. Let's get into some of our studs. I'll let you talk about some of these studs.
Yeah, so RJ Barrett was actually somebody we brought up on here. He was not in the lineup that we did build. I think you ended up playing him. I kind of went with the lineup that we did build myself, but he was looking pretty good until Julius Randle got ruled in. But it was really him and Julius Randle show last night for the Knicks. And Randle was another stud down there, and he got over 70 points. I believe RJ Barrett was that top scorer on the slate overall after the multiplier. And then we did have Jared Allen, who we talked about. He was a guy that was in our lineup as well. He played very well. Not even quite the ceiling game that he's capable of, but a very good game regardless. And then Fred VanVleet, he was solid once again. So not too much else to say there about those guys. They pretty much performed like we hoped they would pretty much.
Sure. What up, David? Said Anthony Simons is highly referred, but shows to be out.
Let's see.
They'll keep adding players. Like, it depends. Like, as it gets closer to the game, they'll start adding players if they're playing. Because I think there's been a couple of players that have been added.
Yeah, he's in the SuperDraft app, but is there news? No, he's playing. Last I see is they're playing.
Just got to keep checking, David. You know we got you.
Yeah, I can check Twitter in a little bit, too, on that one. But
what's up, Antonio? All right, let's get into should we get into some of our duds here real quick?
Yeah, we'll go over the duds real quick. So we got the 4 there. And unfortunately, a couple of these guys were the chalkiest players on the slate with LeBron James. He was a little bit over 50%, which is a little bit lower than I kind of expected, but not the best game for him overall. 47.25 points. He's only got that 1x multiplier because he is LeBron James. He's been having all these big games. And then Domantas Sabonis, the chalkiest player on the slate yesterday, 78% rostered, on the elite contest at least. So he only ended up with 32.2 points. He only took 9 shots yesterday, which is insane because he's the best player on their team. They shot the ball 76 times, and then Sykes and Washington took 32 of those shots. So he's definitely going to be in play once again today because don't expect him to only shoot the ball 9 times once again tonight. Miles Turner's teammate, you could almost put every pacer on there besides Sykes and Washington yesterday because everybody else didn't do anything. Miles Turner was just bad. There's no way around that. And then Derek White, for the minutes he actually ended up playing, he only played 22 minutes because this game ended up in a blowout. If he would have played his extra 10 to 12 minutes, he would have smashed easy, but the rest of the team did nothing essentially.
And like Sabonis, man, I feel like this is probably one of his worst games that we've seen in a while. Like, definitely like not somebody that I would steer away from. He's still an elite player, so I would definitely not steer away from someone like that.
He was kind of up and down at the beginning of the year, but with Brogdon out once again, with Karis LeVert out once again, he's the main guy.
And same thing kind of with LeBron. Like, LeBron kind of had the down game, and we had we talked about some of our dart throw guys that kind of hit. Like,
yes,
Dwight Howard. Like, Dwight Howard went bananas, and so did not Carmelo didn't, but Dwight or damn it, I can't think right now. Russell Westbrook went bananas. I mean, he wasn't anybody that could.
He was like okay, but
he did better. He did way better than LeBron.
Yeah, he was probably about I think about 10 points better than LeBron. So, but he's also got the little extra multiplier too. Dwight Howard, he had a double off the bench, but he's a risky play like on any given night because we've seen LeBron start at the center position. Howard came off the bench just because they needed him off the bench essentially. So he really came through there. I don't think anybody ended up playing him yesterday. Malik Monk, he was up there as well. He, the thing with him is if he shoots the ball well, he's going to end up well, but he doesn't always shoot the ball well, and he's just this point scoring guy. So you'll see that a lot of times with guys like that. Kiefer Sykes, he really did well at the 0.158 multiplier. So, he was a guy coming into it. We had such a small sample size. He played 35 minutes the time before, only got 22 points before the multiplier. So it's just kind of like which is the true sample size for him. He had a very good day yesterday, though. You have Mikal Bridges there, who did pretty well. Bismack Biyama was another guy that really stood out, but he just signed a 10-day contract yesterday, and then he had to play a bunch of minutes because Jalen Smith got in foul trouble. So definitely going to be some dart throw guys out there, but a lot of these guys yesterday that were dart throws, most people weren't playing anyways. Or even Josh Primo was another guy too. He ended up playing a bunch of minutes in the blowout for the Spurs and played pretty well in the blowout time. But, unless you're predicting a blowout, you're not going to be playing him. I don't think anybody played him. And he's a guy that was only added to the slate like an hour beforehand too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy and Dwight Howard, like going back and looking at a lot of his stuff, like he definitely wasn't doing hot at all, So it's nice to see somebody like him kind of come back and make a play like that. But I'm still, he's somebody that you would like throw a dart at tonight.
They're not. I don't believe they're on the slate tonight, but it just depends. Like in the future, so the way the Lakers team is right now, it seems like they're going to play LeBron at center when they're going against teams that don't have like a predominant big man or a dominant big man. So if they're playing against teams that like to play small ball a little bit more, they're going to play them there. Sacramento they do play bigger at the 5 position, but they don't have a guy that really stands out there. So they did start LeBron. Then Howard did come off the bench after that. So.
David says he's going to go check again. Yeah, let us know what's going on, David. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's there, but
he should be there at one point.
Let's see. Maybe we should talk about some injuries that are going on tonight. I didn't get a graphic or anything for that, but
no, you're good.
Let me pull this down real quick.
Yeah, let me go back up on notes here. So the biggest things that we're kind of watching for, if you guys follow my channel at all in the morning, even if you just go on there for a couple minutes, just click the injury part, it'll take you through pretty much everything to start with. But the biggest news that we did get throughout the day was obviously Giannis is not going to be playing in this game. So Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday, Bobby Portis, they get a big uptick from that. Most notably, Drew Holiday is going to get the biggest one, but he also does have the lowest multiplier. Bobby Portis has that 1.55 multiplier, so he's looking pretty good tonight. Cole Anthony, Wendell Carter, we were looking for. They did announce the Magic lineup, and they are both starting tonight, so we don't have to worry about them. The Utah Jazz is one that's later on in the day that you're probably looking at a lot of injuries because they got 3 of their starters questionable: Rudy Gobert, Royce O'Neal, and Bogdan Bogdanovic. So there could be some value there, but it's like if you want to reach out to do the do you want to leave that spot open and have that value potentially be there? Tonight's the night you could risk it too because the Hawks have Trae Young dealing with some back soreness. He's questionable. Cam Reddish is questionable. So there could be some other value there. So maybe if you're betting on one of the Utah guys being out and they're not, then maybe you can go over to Atlanta as well.
Make sure you get down there and you get down there and get subbed up to Coach Cred Sports because his content's really good, especially if you're playing on any other platforms. But
yeah, and like I said,
on point.
And like I said, even if you just watch the injury part at the beginning of the day, I go through all the injuries. Like even if you don't play FanDuel or DraftKings, you could just go over there, take that on the slates like this tonight, where it's 11 game slate, it's probably like 4 minutes long. You spend 4 minutes out of your day, get the injuries, and then we get you updated a little bit more on here because it's, on these 11 game slates going through each team, it's going to take 10 minutes to do it at this point in time.
And David said he was looking at the wrong Simmons.
He's probably looking at Ben Simmons then.
Shit happens.
Yeah, we want Anthony Simons is actually how you pronounce his last name.
Simons.
Yep. Only one M, not 2 M. So.
All right.
And then, like I mentioned, Trae Young injury and Cam Reddish for the Hawks. Monty Morris was upgraded to questionable earlier today, but not somebody you really want to play on the super draft side.
Let's see here. All right. So here's kind of the initial look, which you kind of sent me this morning.
Yeah. So that was from this morning. I know we got a couple other slides, so I'll probably just go over those though.
So let's see here.
Yeah. So
here's your like in play. So So we're gonna talk about some players that you can play tonight. So I think in the main slate and even for your subscribers tonight for the SuperDraft Pro subscribers, it's the whole main slate. So you have 3 guards, 3 forwards, and 1 center.
Yep.
So we're gonna kind of go through here and talk about your so anybody that is just going to be our like standard kind of plays is going to be anybody from a 1 times multiplier to a 1.65 multiplier, and then we have our darlings. are dart throw darlings, and they're going to be anybody that's a 1.7 and above. So those are going to be the ones, if you want to try to hit, I mean, and you clearly see that these guys do hit, and it's not going to be all the time, it is a dart throw. So let's go through some of these guys, talk about them.
Yeah, and even when you're talking about those dart throws too, especially like on slates this big too, I'd probably try to only stick to like maybe one or two of them. You don't want to go crazy and have half your lineup be dart throws because, there's like a 30% chance that some of them guys are going to hit either way. But overall for the guard position, like I don't have anybody that's just like a 1x or like a 1.05. I know SuperDraft Pro really does like Trae Young tonight, but there is that question with his back. And obviously, a lot of times when players have these back injuries, they don't shoot quite as well. I know he's coming off his career high in points, but there's still a chance that he doesn't play, or if he does play, he doesn't play quite as well. Bradley Beal's obviously been playing out of his mind. They do get Raul Neto back tonight. Maybe ends up in that starting lineup at the point guard position, but shouldn't affect Bradley Beal too much. So at 1.1, still a very good play. Jrue Holiday, we already kind of mentioned a little bit with Giannis being out. He gets the biggest uptick, but he has the lowest multiplier of the three guys I'd mentioned. So at 1.2, he's still a very, very solid play. We've seen him play very well earlier this season as well, especially in the games that Giannis has missed. Fred VanVleet, obviously, he's on his hot streak. He's been scoring a ton of points right now. I don't know why anybody else on the team's not scoring, but Fred VanVleet at 1.2 looking very good. De'Aaron Fox, kind of same thing as we talked about last night, 1.3. If he's having a very good night, he's going to be in play. He's probably going to be a guy that puts your lineup over the top. Derek White on here. And this was kind of before we knew if DeJounte Murray was going to be back for sure or not. So DeJounte Murray is 1.1. You could take a look at him, a little bit risky. First game back from COVID. Derek White at 1.35. The fact that they do have Murray back now, it's going to decrease his fantasy points per minute just a little bit, but it also increases the chances that this game remains competitive. So his minutes should be up there once again. They shouldn't be getting blown out of the building, at least because there is another relevant player on the floor with him as well. Kyle Lowry definitely looking very good tonight with 1.35. And, obviously Jimmy Butler's not playing tonight. So Kyle Lowry, Tyler Hero, they're both going to be looking good. Tyler Hero's down there at 1.45. Then Hamidou Diallo, he is also guard and forward eligible as well. I know we talked about him last slate. I know you've been playing him for a little bit as well, Justin, but last slate he didn't look quite as good because he only had like a 1.1 multiplier. Now it's back to like 1.45. So, if he's getting that 30 plus points at 1.45, that's a big difference between that and the 1.1. Mike Conley, I do have down there at 1.55. He's a guy that has some upside. Probably if you're playing in a bigger tournament, maybe if you're playing in like one of the elite tournaments, he's not a true dart throw, but a guy that has some upside, but might not get there either way. But they do have a couple guys that are questionable for tonight's game. This is another situation. Maybe if you're looking for somebody that has some upside, but if those Jazz guys gets ruled in, maybe you switch over to one of the Hawks players as well there. And I mean, you even got the option of switching over to the Blazers players too with Norman Powell's here. Anthony Simons is there. So those both those guys played extremely, extremely well last time out. And they're going to be very much in play once again tonight. And then Seth Curry is the bottom guy there at 1.65. Tyrese Maxey and Shake Milton are both not playing tonight. So Seth Curry is going to be taking up that bulk load of the point guard minutes. In the games he's done that this year, most of his ceiling games have been when he's been the primary point guard or de facto point guard so far this season. And then let's see, we got the question there. Sabonis really worth playing. He let me down last night. So the big thing with Sabonis is there is no Brogdon. There is no Karis LeVert. He should be the main guy once again. He's not going to shoot the ball only 9 times once again. So it should definitely get better tonight unless they get blown out of the building. But even then, they don't have a lot of bodies healthy at this point in time either.
And David, remember, like I was just saying, like this was like a really, really, really down game for him. Like before that, he had 61 points, 58 points, 53 points, and then you had your multiplier, right?
Yep.
So what I'm saying is like this isn't somebody that you're just going to go off of because of one bad game. This is somebody that there's a reason that his multiplier is that way it is. It's because he is that good.
And the biggest factor is just Brogdon and LeVert not playing once again.
Yeah, he's definitely somebody that I'm going to be playing tonight. Yep. Antonio says, I feel you, David. I took out Barrett last second and put in Sabonis when Randall was listed as a go. The crazy thing is if you would have played both of them, Randall and Barrett, you would have been like in the fucking money.
Yeah, you would have been like top 10 probably.
Yeah.
And I don't think a lot of people played Randall yesterday either.
No, I didn't play Randall. And here you guys listen, like so I did play I did have a different one that I played. And The difference I think in that was I had Van Vliet in, and I had Barrett in, but I still had Sabonis, I still had Allen, I still had LeBron, I still had White. I had
Yeah.
Fox. Like, so there was some, White and LeBron still,
Mhm.
didn't do the best, but I still finished 20th place. Like,
Yep.
so I mean, some of these guys are really good. I mean,
Yeah.
you just
And
not everyone's gonna hit. Like it is a lottery.
yeah, I mean, basketball is the most predictable sport, but guys still have down games. There's still blowouts and there's still foul trouble and injuries. So things can happen, but for the most part, most of the stuff is a little bit predictable as well.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, so I have hit. I mean, the last 3 nights I have hit in lineups. So I mean,
Mhm.
I'm not doing terrible for I feel
No,
like I'm doing a little bit better than even football. I feel like because it's a little bit more
absolutely.
predictable than football.
Mhm. Yeah, let's see. So we
All
move
right,
over
let's
to the
talk about a
forwards.
couple forwards that we got here. I know we got
Yeah,
a
so we
ton
are.
of guards.
Yeah, there is definitely a plethora of guards tonight. Forwards, we already kind of talked about Sabonis. Siakam, he kind of had a little bit of he had his floor game last night. Let's just put it that way because he only had about 48 points. I know we kind of talked about him as a potential dud earlier, but still getting that floor game at 48 points. This definitely is something that's not killing you overall. He did get in foul trouble early on in that game. He lost a couple minutes there. I think he only ended up playing 28, 29 minutes last night. He's typically up closer to 34. So if he gets that once again, that was one of those blowout games. So definitely has that big upside once again tonight. Chris Middleton, obviously Giannis is out. Chris Middleton looks very good at 1.3. And Draymond Green's actually played really, really well the last 2 times out. He's one of those guys. He's a threat for a triple double on any given night too. So if he gets the points, that's the biggest question with him though. But at
Mhm.
1.35, the kind of upside that a guy like that gives you at 1.35, there's not many other guys on the slate that can do that. And he's a guy that's probably not going to draw a lot of ownership. I know the pro picks were a little bit lower on him as well. Bobby Portis already talked about him with Giannis being out quite a bit. So I think he definitely has a ton of upside once again tonight. Kyle Kuzma, we've seen what he's been
Mhm.
doing on recent slates. Spencer Dinwiddie did clear protocol, but he's still not playing tonight. So as long as Spencer Dinwiddie's not playing, we just keep playing Kyle Kuzma unless they like reduce his multiplier way down. But even then, he's been getting 40, 50 points before the multiplier either way.
There's a reason that he's our cover boy today. He's a beast, man. I mean, I've been playing him or Beal. Like I've been on Beal too a lot, but Beal's been kind of coming down. His multiplier's gone up, so it's kind of been affecting that portion of it. But yeah, I can't come off Kuzma. He's so good. He's been winning me money. So all right, let's talk some centers.
Yeah. So center is kind of skinny today. I want to call it at least. Excuse me, because I had a couple guys on here. So obviously you got the two big guys at the top with Joel Embiid, who's just got one multiplier, Nikola Jokic with a one multiplier too. Some people probably a little bit afraid to play Nikola Jokic just because Rudy Gobert is a pretty good defensive center. It really doesn't matter too much for Jokic. He's just that good. But Rudy Gobert is questionable. Hassan Whiteside, his backup, is also questionable. So if both those guys don't end up playing, Nikola Jokic is probably going to drop like 80 points, just being realistic, because it's going to be like Rudy Gay. It's going to be Eric Paschall, guys like that covering him who are like 6'8". Like it's not going to be fair. Al Horford, I did like a little bit more when Robert Williams was maybe kind of questionable, probable at the beginning of the day. He's been dealing with a toe sprain though, Robert Williams. So maybe he doesn't play big minutes tonight. Al Horford does offer a ton of upside as well. Hasn't really been scoring the ball too much this year though. Joseph Nurkic. So last time out was his first game back from the COVID list. He'd been out for about 2 weeks. He still played 26 minutes. He does not have any true center behind him. Cody Zeller is on the COVID list. Larry Nance is doubtful for tonight's game, so he's probably not playing either. So he offers a ton of upside. He takes a big tick up when Damian Lillard's not on the court. So a guy like that at 1.35, that's definitely a guy that he's going to be in some of my lineups tonight. Um, Not even just on SuperDraft, on FanDuel, a little bit, maybe on DraftKings as well. So definitely a guy that has a ton of upside. Mo Bamba, I did like more when Wendell Carter Jr. was questionable. He was dealing with an illness, so maybe Mo Bamba looked a little bit better then. Probably not playing him at this point in time. And then Jakob Pertl, we saw him play very, very well last night, and that was in limited minutes, and he's got that 1.5 times multiplier. So, last night I kind of knocked him because I talk about him on my channel. He's kind of Mr. Consistent. He's that guy that's always going to get you around 30 points. But lately, he's been doing a little bit better as well.
Yeah, I like Mo Bamba, but more of like he's kind of been up and down, but he can really perform. when the time comes.
Mm-hmm. He's kind of a dark. He's more of a dart throw at this point in time tonight, just because Wendell Carter is playing. If he was out, that's where I was a little bit more interested in Mo Bamba. But we got that news in the last half hour or so.
Mm-hmm. And that's what you guys also have to be paying attention. So like it's going to be nice sticking with us, before the game start at 6, it's just to be nice being able to know, all right, we can pivot off of this player. All right, we can put this player in. It's just nice to know. I mean, you're only going to know, what's coming up to the, 6 o'clock, 6 o'clock slate game. So,
Yeah.
but other than
And
that,
I mean,
at least you're going to know who to play then right away. And you can still pivot, pay attention to the news and pivot,
Yeah. And I post like all the injury updates and starting lineups on my own channel too, like in my video for the day. So like, if you ever want to just check up on news after we're done here, you can always go over there too as well.
Absolutely. Coach Craig Sports on YouTube. All right, let's talk about these dart throw darlings. And so the dart throw darlings are like 1.7 times and up, anything that goes up.
Yeah. So these are kind of the guys we talked about. They're not going to hit most of the time, but maybe 30% of the time they do. So Devin Vassell, he actually had a decent game in the limited minutes that he did play last night. If he's in that starting lineup once again, 1.5 or 1.75 multiplier. 2 games ago, he played big minutes. He played very well. They do get DeJounte Murray back, so that should help them stay competitive once again tonight. So he does have some upside there. We have Kiefer Sykes, who played very well last night. Maybe that's a mirage. Maybe it's not. If you want to go on that roller coaster ride, you can go there as well. Obviously, Malcolm Brogdon, Jeremy Lamb, those guys are not playing once again tonight. Raul Neto, he did return from COVID. Whether or not he starts tonight's kind of a big question. He's almost at that 2x multiplier. Probably a guy that's going to get you 20 points most of the time, so he's probably only going to project out for about 40, but if you hit the right game with him, he could have some upside as well, but probably not the slate to play him personally. Anthony Simons is another guy there at 1.8. He's not on there, but he is in mine because he's this weird category where he's not quite a dart throw, but he's a good play overall. We saw what he did the last time out, 43 real life points, over 60 fantasy points before the multiplier, so there's no Damian Lillard. There's none of these other guys once again. So he's probably going to have a pretty good night once again. And then even if you want to look at Dwayne Washington at 1.8, I know the pro picks did love him quite a bit today. So if you guys check that out, that's over there too. He's an all right play at 1.8, but definitely offers some upside as well. Probably not going to shoot the ball. 16 points once again. And then for the forwards, we do have Furkman Korkmaz at 1.7. We saw him have like 50 points before the multiplier last time out. That is not going to happen again. He scored like 10 more points than he has in any single game the rest of the year. He also had 11 rebounds, which is not typical for him. He's a shooting guard, a small forward who shoots the ball primarily, not a great rebounder overall. Then Trey Lyles, probably starting at center position once again, 1.85 multiplier. He's projecting out for about 26 or so. If he has an upside game where he gets to 30, you're getting over 50 points out of him. Rodney Hood, this is like the true dart throw, honestly, because he's 2x. Milwaukee is missing some guys because we already talked about Giannis being gone. Grayson Allen's not playing tonight. Pat Connaughton's not playing tonight as well. So if Hood ends up in that starting lineup, if he somehow falls into like 30 minutes and plays decent, then he could be worth it at, the 2x. But that's a true dart throw because he's not a great fantasy point per minute guy. But if he ends up playing, if he plays well and he shoots the ball well, then he could end up in a, like a winning lineup. But it's probably not likely to happen. I know I saw a comment there too where Nazir Little is a good play too. He definitely has a ton of upside once again. Pretty much anybody on Portland tonight has a ton of upside, and most of them don't have pretty good multiplier, or most of them don't have pretty low multipliers. Most of them are pretty high. Then
comments here quick too.
Yeah, I will mention Jordan Nwora if he does end up playing for the Bucks too at 1.7. He has a high multiplier. That's another really high upside guy. He's the true definition of a dart throw because he could either come out and score like 22 points, like real life points, or he could come out and score like 4 real life points and just be useless. He comes out, he shoots the ball, and that's all. Like he comes out, he shoots the ball, and he's not afraid to shoot it. But the guy's not good at defense. He's not going to get you pretty much any defensive stats unless somebody throws him the ball for a steal. And he's not that great of a rebounder, especially for his size. If he's shooting the ball well, he's going to get you some points. But other than that, probably not.
And I feel like defense is like a big thing in SuperDraft Pro. Like steals, or assists are big steals, blocks, anything like that is just big points. Or if you get a triple double or double, anything like that, you get more like extra points. And that's what I do like about SuperDraft Pro.
Yeah. So the thing I do like about SuperDraft is you take the best things from FanDuel and you take the best things from DraftKings and kind of put them together. Because DraftKings, you have the double bonus, you have the triple bonus. You don't have that on FanDuel. And then on FanDuel, you have the 3 points for steal, 3 points for block. And then on DraftKings, it's 2. So it kind of combines those two together. So it makes an interesting scoring format overall. Then you have the multiplier on top of it instead of salaries.
Yeah, I like that. Because then you can kind of, if you wanted to, just play all the top dogs. You know, you're like, all right, I want to be safe. I'm just going to play everybody that's good.
Yeah.
But it's different, you know, you just have a different strategy. What up? Second take extra. How you been doing, man? He said Bane was solid. Monk, yeah, Monk went crazy. Monk, I haven't seen Monk do that in a little bit. It was probably about a week and a half ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, around Christmas time where he went off.
Well, it's when we first started talking basketball kind of together, is when he first had his big blow up game. Let's see.
Yeah, it was crazy. Second take extra. Says, you guys like Kyrie over 27.5 assists? What? Oh, assists, rebound points.
All combined? Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot. I don't know.
I mean, I don't think it's that bad. He's supposed to play 30 minutes, so let's see. Just got a couple starting lineups. So Beal, so the Wizards are starting Beal, Caldwell Pope, Advia, Kuzma, and Gafford. So Howell Nettle is not starting tonight, so he's probably not a guy I'd be going after. Then the Rockets are starting Kevin Porter Jr., Jalen Green, Eric Gordon, Jayshawn Tate, and Christian Wood. So they're starting both guys that were suspended for the last game. So they're at least in the rotation. If you want to take that chance, you can definitely do it. They both have decent multipliers tonight, but there is some risk with it too, because, you know, these guys were already kind of in trouble with the team. So if they do anything wrong, they could get benched and, you know, it could end up terribly.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. I love the fact that you get all these lineups coming in too. You keep them coming.
Yeah. So I post those up on my channel too. So I'm kind of multitasking here at the minute.
Yeah, good. Make sure you guys are following Coach Craig Sports. You also have to go follow him on Twitter too. You're same thing on Twitter, right?
And then without the S because it didn't fit.
Oh.
Yeah, character limits are lame.
What up, Cam? What up?
Jordan Nwora is announced that he's playing tonight. Thanasis, Giannis's older brother, is playing as well. And then let's see, who else was it? Semi Ojale is playing too. He wasn't supposed to play tonight, I don't think, Ojale, but Semi Ojale does not matter at all. He's a terrible fantasy point per minute producer. Nwora, if you want to take that dart throw, we already talked about him. And then Thanasis, he's probably not going to play enough minutes to matter either way. So,
what up, Bogart? He says I am number 8. You're the number 8 subscriber for me. Hell yeah, buddy. Guess what? That's my favorite fucking number.
Yeah. And for the Bucks,
he said, second take extra said Nasir Little is a good one.
Yep. Yeah, I saw that earlier, and I said, yeah, pretty much anybody on Portland could be a very good play tonight. So
Kim says, you think Curry's going to go off tonight?
So it depends which Curry. I mean, Steph's a 1x multiplier. Steph can score like 70 points on any night for fantasy, but he can also score 38 points. I like his brother Seth tonight just because he's running the point, and the ceiling games that he has had this year, you know, probably like 80% of them have come when he's been primarily playing the point guard position.
Second take extra says Al Horford is a double machine. Yeah, I like Al Horford.
The thing about him this year is he's every once in a while he kind of gets these sneaky like steals and blocks game where he just gets like 5 of them out of nowhere. Even though, you know, you're thinking about Al Horford's not young by any means at this point in time. He's older than us probably. So. Let's see. So I see.
David says, so you think Bamba over Jokic?
No, I would not play Bamba now. Like Bamba's a complete dart throw now that Wendell Carter Jr. is actually playing. So I would play Jokic. I expect Jokic to be super chalky. I myself am going a little bit to Nurkic for the Blazers. Christian Wood, you can play Christian Wood. I kind of just talked about him a little bit ago. Like his multiplier is good. He's just suspended the last game. He was benched the game before that. So there's a lot of risk if you play him. He's probably not going to have a lot of ownership because there is a ton of risk with him. But you know, if you want to go on that hill, you can do that. But you probably want to make the rest of your lineup a little bit safer if you're going to do that.
Yeah, Kim was talking about Steph Curry.
Yeah, Steph can go off any night. Like Steph could go 70 points. Who are they playing anyways? because he's had really good games and he's had like really bad games. Like some games he just hasn't shot the ball. So they play Dallas, so he could have a big game tonight. But then you also have to wonder if Dallas is going to be able to keep up. I know Luka's back now, but Luka he's missed a lot of time. And there's not much else on Dallas trying to keep them in this game. So there is a potential that the Warriors do end up blowing out Dallas, and that could have hurt a guy like Steph Curry. We talked about Draymond that could hurt him too as well. But at least in the blowout games, Draymond usually gets to at least 33 fantasy points. So 33 before the multiplier. At least he's getting close to 50 on SuperDraft then.
Let's see here. Yeah, Steph. I mean, Steph has been so down. I feel like lately, though, like he's not scoring as much lately. I don't know. It's just especially with the 1 times multiplier, you really have to hit. Like that's the one thing that really hurt with LeBron last night. Like he scored good points, but like not good enough to compete with like everybody else that was going off.
Well, that's the hardest part too tonight, like for Steph Curry, because you're competing with all these guys that have high multipliers, and there's so many good plays at the guard position tonight. Because you could get an Anthony Simons blowout game like last time. You could go Norman Powell, have a big one at 1.6. You could have even Steph's brother could have a better game than him. Like there's so many guys. There's Drew Holiday, De'Aaron Fox, like all these guys. Like guard position is loaded on SuperDraft tonight.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's why the list was so big. I mean. It's been crazy because I feel like we always find like guards or forwards to play, and then it's just like I'm always looking to find a good guard to play that's gonna either hit or have a decent multiplier to like help me.
So let's see.
So that was a good system player and was used to the system.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's like the guy you want on your team just because like. Like he's the guy that doesn't have to score the ball. He's a willing passer. He plays a little bit of defense. He doesn't have those chicken legs anymore, but he's definitely a good player still, even in his advanced age at this point in time. I see he said Maxi Kleber is a dart drafter. Kristaps there. Maxi Kleber is on my list as well too. Just wasn't on the graphic. Definitely a guy that can play 30 minutes if he's shooting the ball. That's the biggest thing for Maxi Kleber. He offers some upside. If he's shooting the ball, he's shooting threes and he's making them, and then he offers some upside and blocks. So he has some blowout games, but then like on average, he averages like he'll get you 22 points most of the time, but every once in a while he'll get you those big blow up games. Like the first time he started this year, I think he had like 40.
Yeah, David. Coach is out, right? With COVID and Gobert. Yep.
No. So Gobert is questionable to play right now. He's dealing with shoulder injury. So I assume he's just going to play. Like, honestly, I don't think he's not going to play against Jokic, but there's a chance that he doesn't play. And if he doesn't play and Hassan Whiteside's back from his concussion, Hassan Whiteside's going to look pretty good. I don't even know what his multiplier is off the top of my head. I didn't really pay too much attention to that yet.
You were saying the coach was out though, right?
I think they were asking me.
Oh,
yeah. The only coach that I know that is out tonight is Mike Budenholzer for the Bucks. Yep.
Yeah, that's right. My bad. I'm getting shit confused. Second take extra says Kyle Lowry, and Kyle Guy is a good play. No ban.
So I like Kyle Lowry and I like Tyler Hero tonight. Kyle Guy has played decent when he's came in. He signed a 10-day contract, but they have PJ Tucker back. Or PJ Tucker came back the last game. Max Strus is back tonight. And now Duncan Robinson has been upgraded to questionable. So if those guys are in, it kind of takes away from Kyle Guy. It makes him a little bit more risky if you were trying to play him. And then he said Gary Trent Jr. is also always a good play. Gary Trent Jr., if he's scoring the ball well, he's going to be a good play. He always plays the big minutes. It's just whether or not he does anything besides score the ball. That's pretty much what it is for him every day.
All right, let's do this. Boom.
Let's see. We got the Thunder lineup too.
Go ahead, talk about it.
Yeah, so let's see. I am looking at it. I am typing. I'm doing 3 things at once, but hold on. So Thunder starting Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Josh Giddey, Aaron Wiggins, Povashevsky, and Robinson Earl. Ugh. Like there's so pretty much all the like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is a good fantasy producer if he gets full minutes, if this game stays competitive. Josh Giddey is obviously coming off a triple-double, the youngest player ever to do so at 1.4 multiplier. I assume he's going to be kind of chalky tonight. Don't think he's going to put up quite the stats tonight. Aaron Wiggins, really point scorer dependent. He's at 1.8. if you really want to go there, you could. Povashevsky, if he plays big minutes, he could do something. We've seen him do that last year, but he really hasn't done much this year. And then Robinson Earl, they're just kind of splitting center minutes up like 2 or 3 ways anyway, so he's not really a guy I'm interested in.
Let's set a lineup. Let's set a lineup for these guys and gals.
Yep.
Do we want to put? Let's see here.
I hate that
search button.
I hate that Povashevsky is starting again because I hate typing his name.
You want to throw Seth Curry in there with a 1.65 multiplier?
Yeah, I like him quite a bit. I like the Portland guys, Norman Powell and Anthony Simons. Powell is the safer one, that's for sure. Simons had the monster blow up game last time though. But so I think a lot of people are actually going to be in Anthony Simons just because he had the 1.8. But Powell is probably the safer one. Norman Powell at the top there. Hold on. I've seen if there's any other starting lineups yet. Okay, so 76ers not
like this.
Yeah, 76ers lineup was announced. Korkmaz, Seth Curry, Danny Green, Tobias Harris, Joel Embiid. No surprises there. And the Detroit Pistons, Killian Hayes, Cade Cunningham, Hamidou Diallo, Saddiq Bey, and Trey Lyles. So no surprises there either.
Yeah, I have Saddiq Bey going in one of my other lineups.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest on him today just because he's a 1.2. But the nice thing about him is he can play at guard or forward. So
I got Van Vliet going today too. There's something about him. Like he's been, another guy that's just
he's been scoring so well lately.
Yeah, helping me win. And we were talking about SGA too, right? Earlier.
Not really. We were talking about Giddey, but then if Giddey was going to be super popular if SGA wasn't playing today, but then he got ruled in like last night anyways.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Yep. I'm like, he looks good if SGA isn't playing. Then I like look some more, and I'm like, oh, he is playing.
You're saying that you'll feel like a lot of. I think that he was in a lot of the pro picks.
Which one?
Giddey. He was. No, let's see. No, they're good then. That's good.
Most of theirs were the same. They had Dwayne Washington. They like Trae Young too, but it's so risky.
Tyler Hero.
Yeah, they really like Tyler Hero too. I mean, I like Tyler Hero, but there's a lot of guys that could beat him out too. Like, and he's been shooting the ball not that great lately either. Like that's my biggest thing with him.
Put in here?
Let's see. So I see Secretary Take Extra. He asked what Kyrie's multiplier is today. It's 1.25. He says you have to put some Blazers in there. We're going to definitely have some Blazers in there. We got Norman Powell. Let's see. Then the last card is, that one's kind of like up to you, like whether you want to go, because you can go like a Drew Holiday. You can go a Fred VanVleet. You can go, one of those upside guys.
Drew Holiday, dude. He's one of my favorite players just because he has crazy assists.
Yeah, if you want to just put Drew Holiday in there. I like Drew Holiday too. So
it's like it's either him or Van Vliet, pretty much. And you said that Giannis is out, so I really like that.
Yeah, Giannis is out. So
I really like that play then. So let's do that. All right, let's get to a forwards here.
So forward, I think, let's see. So I still like Sabonis. I know he had that bad game last time out.
No, we're definitely I'm playing Sabonis. Where we go?
Who's the other ones that I really like? Let's see. So Sabonis. I really like Bobby Portis without Giannis at 1.55. Pascal Siakam at 1.2. Like we saw the floor game out of him last night. Chris Middleton's definitely there, but like you get a little risky. Like if you play Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday together, they both can go off though. Yeah, Kuzma's there. Like I said, I really like Bobby Portis. I like Draymond's upside though if that game's not a blowout. So like it really just comes down to like you want to play Pascal Siakam, Chris Middleton, Draymond Green, or Bobby Portis.
Or we just play let's see here.
Or like if you want to take one of those dart throw guys. I mean, Bobby's minutes have been kind of like up and down lately just because they have Boogie there too, but the fact that Giannis isn't playing is a big deal for Bobby Portis.
Diallo. I like Diallo.
I mean, for me, I just like Portis better than Diallo because I think they project for about the same, and then Portis got the extra 0.1, you know.
Well, let's play them both, and then let's put Sabonis at center.
No, I think there's too many other good plays at center.
Okay, let's go to center then. Let's talk centers. Let's get this lineup
So obviously at center we have Jokic at 1, we have Embiid at 1. Those are both very good plays. If you really want to look at Karl Anthony Towns, you could at 1.1. I just have a lot of concerns being his first game back off the COVID list. Rudy Gobert's obviously got the shoulder injury. Then we got down to the 1.35 guys. So we got Al Horford. He has the potential for a triple-double on any given night, but not always as super consistent. And I do like Nurkic is my guy tonight, though, at 1.35, because if he plays 30 minutes, he's probably going to be the top scoring center, unless Jokic is just going against backup guys that shouldn't even be playing center. And both those games are later too. So if you play Nurkic and like we find out that Gobert and Whiteside are both not playing, then you could all obviously switch over to Jokic as well.
All right, let's do that then. All right, let's find our final forward. You said you want to play.
I like Portis.
Let's do it.
Let's see.
All right, so here's what our final lineup's going to look like. Let's see. So Jaylen Brown or JT, you got to put in. You got to put in there. It will be a close game.
Yeah. So the thing about those two guys is Jason Tatum first game back off the COVID list, and then Jaylen Brown. I do like Jaylen Brown, but there's like games where he just kind of flops too. So, and they both don't have like the highest multipliers at all either. But he's like Nurkic, so he likes Nurkic versus whoever his center is with no Bam. Well, right now it is Omar Yurtseven, who's not very talented at all, but he is playing he's playing well for DFS, but he's not a good NBA player, at least.
All right, so here's what we're gonna go with. We got Seth Curry at guard, Powell at guard, Holiday, Drew Holiday, man. Without Giannis, this is gonna be fun. It'd be dope. Then so we're gonna go with Sabonis again, even though you all were getting all the hype about him not doing well. Kuzma.
But that's the best thing about Sabonis tonight is like he wasn't that good last night, so nobody's gonna people aren't gonna play him because they're just like, oh, whatever. Like, oh, but there's other options, and then like what happens when you score 60 tonight, then you're just better than like everybody else because nobody played him, and it's a big slate to start off with.
So Kuzma, the poster boy, we're definitely gonna roll with him. And then Portis, your guy, we're gonna roll with him because I'm gonna trust you.
Yep.
And we can change Nurkic if we want to at the end.
Yeah. So if if those centers get ruled out for Utah, we could always switch to Jokic like before that game starts.
What was his multiplier?
Jokic is just 1, but Nurkic is 1.35.
Yeah. So boom, enter. Damn. There it is.
Sweet.
So shit. Yeah. So I mean,
I wonder how much different that is than mine. That might be the exact same I'm playing.
Whatever. I just put that on the basic one. That's gonna be my basic lineup. So I can talk about my other lineup too. I just gotta get them in real quick.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much the lineup I'm playing tonight, but that's okay. I guess I'd just tie with everybody that's listening then if they end up playing it. But hey, it's worth it. Let's see. It looks like there's another starting lineup that I'm trying to figure out who it was. So Hornets will start Ball, Rozier, Hayward, Bridges, and Plumlee. There is no surprises there at all. And let's see. Okay, so that was the last 7 o'clock game. So we have all the starting lineups for the 7 o'clock games, which is nice at least. Not like the Spurs last night where it's just like, okay, we think these guys are starting, but are they?
So I'm going to I don't know, should I start Bay?
He's just that 1.2 multiplier is so low. I feel like if I'm starting him, I'd rather just start Cade Cunningham because he's got a higher multiplier and they're fighting for the same shots and usage and everything too. If I have to pick a Piston.
Try to get these little extra things in here before it closes up.
Yep. Let's see. So let's see. We have all the 7 o'clock starting lineups though. Pretty much went over those. The 7:30 lineups that we do know so far is the Boston Celtics, Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Al Horford, and Robert Williams. So they have their starting 5 back for like the first time in like forever, it seems like. They are going against the Spurs. The Spurs projected starting lineup at least is DeJounte Murray, Derek White, Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson, and Jakob Poeltl. The 7:30 starting lineup, let's see. The Warriors have Steph Curry, Gary Payton II, Aaron Wiggins, Draymond Green, and Kayvon Looney once again. So that's no surprises there. Mavericks expected to start Luka, Jalen Brunson, Dorian Finney-Smith, Maxi Kleber, and Dwight Powell. Dwight Powell, I don't even think we mentioned him, but he's another dart throw guy at 2x. You know, sometimes these big guys against the Warriors, if they play enough minutes, they'll matter. And sometimes Powell has had decent games with Porzingis out, but just really depends if they go smaller or not.
There's something about Terry Rozier that I fucking like.
The worst part about most of these Hornets guys is they're not very consistent. So like you get like two or three Terry Rozier games in a row, and then it'll be like a Gordon Hayward game, and then like LaMelo Ball's actually played really bad lately though.
Yeah,
since he came back, but
really bad, really fucking bad. It's crazy because he fucking won us a lot of money. Like the Second Take actually hooked us up one time, and we were talking, and dude, he fucking boom, crushed it. I think he put up like 70 points or some shit like that.
Yeah, well, the thing about LaMelo is he could be the highest scorer on the slate, or he can score like 22 points. Like, yeah,
little to the moon.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely got the upside. And the biggest thing about Little is he's one of those guys that plays defense too, so he can get like a couple steals and a block or something too. Not the biggest point scorer in the world. Okay, rebounder for his size because he's not the biggest guy, but he's got some long arms too. Kind of a guy that when he went to North Carolina, a lot of people had big expectations for him. He didn't really do too much there. He kind of got drafted, didn't do much the first year in the NBA, but he's kind of progressed nicely. But he's just kind of one of these kind of defensive guys.
David, thank you, brother. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
David's the man. He's always hanging out.
What was I gonna say? So, and tomorrow it looks like they got PGA on SuperDraft Pro.
Yeah, it's been crazy. We're gonna have to do something for that. So I'll set something up for that. We'll talk about it a little bit. I don't know a ton about that, but we'll set up. We'll do basketball like we always do. We'll talk about.
But that one starts at like 1 o'clock tomorrow.
For basketball or golf?
No, the golf.
Well, shit, I'm off work tomorrow, bro.
You are.
So we can talk a little bit about it if you want to go on.
I mean, you want to take a quick look here? I'll just see who has. If there's anybody that has a decent multiplier, I'm not super well versed in golf, but I play still. Let's see who high multipliers are for golf. So the highest multiplier they have for anybody in golf is 1.35. And
golf's gonna be crazy. So with golf, you just gotta, like we were talking about earlier, if you want to play it safe, you don't want guys that miss the cut. When there's guys, this is just for tomorrow though. But when you do full tournaments, that's the thing you got to worry about.
Yep. So I'm just looking at some of the lower multiplier or the higher multiplier guys. So Jason Kokrak, he is a 1.25. He did pretty well last year on the tour. I know that. Phil Mickelson's obviously 1.25, but Phil's old, so he either does really well or he does nothing. Stuart Stink's kind of the same way at 1.25.
Love me some Phil.
My boy Matt Jones here. He had some really good finishes last year. He's at 1.2. He's a guy that played a lot last year. He made a lot of cuts, but he's probably not a guy like for a one-day thing. He's probably not as good, but for if you're playing like a multiple day tournament one, probably doing all right there.
Fucking Morikawa is a really good play.
Yeah. So I'm going from the bottom first. I'm going like the bottom up. So I got Harry English here is 1.15 or he's 1.115. So he is really hit or miss. Last year, like he'd do really well at some tournaments, some other tournaments he went to. Max Homa played really well at the beginning of last year. He's at the same multiplier 1.115. Smith is the same. There's a lot. The thing about this tournament is there's a lot of good players playing too. So, Abraham Answer, he's at that 1.115 as well.
Oh shit, yeah.
Tony Finau is 1.1. That's a pretty good play right there.
Is Wolf
He's
in this
very
shit?
good. Victor Hovland 1.1. There's a lot of good players here too. Daniel Berger, he was really good at the beginning of the year. I'm not sure how tough this course is because Sunjay M, he's 1.1. He's a really good player, but a terrible punter. So if the greens are really hard, he's not like he's a guy that you don't want to play.
Sure, you can play Patrick Reed. Just hope he's cheating, because then he'll win.
Let me see here. Morikawa is definitely play. Jordan Spieth, Bryson DeChambeau. Like this one's really interesting because there's so many different good players too.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do a little research tonight. Maybe we'll do what? Maybe we'll do like we can do like what time is that? You said it starts at 1 here, 1 Central.
Let's see. It says 1:40, I think.
Let's see.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one just because there's so many good players playing too. It's not like because like some tournaments is just be like, well, you got like these random guys. That's why like even the highest multiplier is like 1.35.
Yeah, we can come on and talk a little bit about it.
Yep.
Maybe we'll do something at like noon or something.
Let me see. There's another starting lineup that just came through. Maybe. Maverick starting lineup is Luka, Jalen Brunson, Dorian Finney-Smith, Maxi Kleber, Dwight Powell, which was exactly what we expected. But the Nets starting lineup, James Harden, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, David Duke is starting. So I'm not sure. I think his multiplier is 1.8. I could be wrong. Not sure how many minutes he's going to play, but if you want a dart throw, that's a dart throw for sure. And then Nick Claxton is starting at center. But LaMarcus Aldridge is playing. They ruled him in earlier today.
And remember, you can change your lineups. If you're on your phone or on your app or on your computer, you just go to My Contests. So you go to My Contests and then you just click on whatever lineup you have. So they'll come up. If you have multiple lineups, you just click on whatever lineup you want. It'll pull up a screen with like a bunch of all the other people that are playing in you. There's a bunch of tabs at the top. You'll see it. It says lineup. Then next to the players that you can switch out, there'll be like a double arrow, like it's like you can switch them out. So you just click on that and you can switch the player. As long as they haven't played yet, as long as that player or team hasn't played out, you can switch it out with a player and a team that hasn't played yet.
Yep. Let's see.
Because we did run into some trouble with some people not knowing how to do that, and I mean that
really?
is definitely something to know. Because I mean,
as long as the player that you're trying to switch out's game didn't already start, you can't just be like, oh, this guy got hurt in the middle of the game and then switch him out. That'd be kind of nice though.
And if you haven't signed up at SuperDraft Pro, here's the site right here. So it's sdcoachjc.com. Get signed up. You want to get on a subscription. You for sure want to get on a subscription because you're going to get, this. You want to be on the subscription side. I mean, Craig's been winning a fucking ton of money on the subscription side. And then not only that, I mean, with some of the subscription games, there's a lot less players that are playing, and you only get one play in that shit. And if you're on the elite plays, like we have some special elite contests that they do, and it's just for elite players, so that's an even smaller pool. And Craig fucking dominated, won $250 the other day.
And even like when I've been talking to people, I just say like, if you do the subscriptions, yes, you're paying in advance, but you're prepaying for contests, and they're exclusive contests that only a select group of people are going into anyways. And some of these people, like maybe they sign up for football and they sign up for the subscription and they don't know anything about basketball. So you're already at an advantage if you're just playing that, if you're listening to us, if you're even looking at some of the pro picks, even you're just at an advantage right there.
And the crazy thing too is like, you look at it this way, the elite is $100 for the month, right? You're only paying like $3.33 a day to play. And if you get 3 plays and you can win over it's like $170 you can win at a day if you take first in every single contest. Yeah. How much? Let's just talk about. So you put $100 in, right? How much money are you up from that?
since my thing renewed like a week ago, I'm up like $366 or something like that profit. But even so that what was it? It was 2 Sundays ago when I got fourth in the NFL one. If I would have got first place in all those contests, it would have been $400 right there. I got fourth, so I got 180. So you can win up to $400 in a single day, and you're paying $100 for the month, like you said, like $3.33 a day, and you get 3 contests each day, and they're ones you're prepaying for essentially. And some of the people you're going against, they might not even know much about sports.
Correct. Because it's every. I mean, a lot of these people that play them, it's either they either play football or they play basketball, or they, you know, what else? It was like college football, but nobody was really playing that. I mean, nobody really knows that stuff. So
I mean, I don't think people directly sign up just for college football at the very least, but I mean, there's definitely people that play it on the app, and that's the best thing about SuperDraft is they like if there's a sport for it, they have contests for it. So there's NBA, there's college football. I think there's college basketball too. I haven't really checked that out yet myself. There is PGA, there's hockey, there's MLB. They got poker. You can play SuperDraft poker, like World Series of Poker events on there. There was a free one, so I tried it the one time. And there's like a couple other things on there too. So like if it's a sport, it's probably on SuperDraft already.
It's funny because Hustler, he was talking about, he's like, I didn't know really how to bet on it, so I just picked everybody who had pictures because I figured that they were important.
Oh, for the poker,
that's a pretty good strategy. I was like, but except for the guy who won was like had no picture.
Was that for the poker one or what?
Yeah, one of the free ones. They sent it out. I think it was like free because like they're just trying to test it out or some shit.
I was like, I'm like, I know like who two of these people are. It's like it's Daniel Negreanu and like some other guy on there. I'm like, I know who those two guys are, so I'm gonna pick them just because I know who they are.
And they got more stuff coming too. They're gonna have like WWE and shit like that too, which is crazy. I don't know how they're gonna do it, but and they do have, it's in beta form right now. And if you don't have, you know, an iPhone, you can't use it, which is kind of crazy. But there's a beta out right now. Well, if you can get the sportsbook, there's a sportsbook app, and it's legal in all states because, you know, I can't play sportsbook here in Minnesota, so like normal sportsbook. But I can play on this. Like you basically what you win is you win coins, and the coins you can turn into like prizes. You can turn them into gift cards. You can turn them into Visa cards. Like it's still gonna be money, you know. You can turn them into like trips to like Vegas and shit like that. So it's pretty dope. And what's coming too is like what's in the beta is they have, you know, they have pro or they have like
player props.
Well, not just that too. They have other stuff too, where you go against other players. You can go up, so it'll be like 1,000 people that are in a contest, right? Well, right now it's only like, you know, 10 people because it's a beta, but they have like you'll be basically you pick. They do like so you'll pick, you know, what the games, you know, what games are gonna win, who's gonna win what games, right? You know, and then you'll go against all these players, and whoever finishes first wins, you know, 1,000 coins or some shit like that. So it's pretty crazy. They have it for every sport too.
And that's they're like doing it where you like rank them by like how confident you feel in them and stuff like that too, right?
Yeah, I think they do that too. Like there's a lot of things coming. There's also what they're adding too is they already added is casino games. So they have like slot games and shit like that. And there's more and more coming, which is so crazy. So SuperDraft Pro is backed by, you know, it's backed by Caesars and Caesars Entertainment. So a lot of the shit that's going on, like some of these prizes, somebody won the other day. Somebody won, you know, tickets. Somebody just won sweet tickets to the Chargers versus the Raiders game. So you'll be in a suite watching the game in a suite, and you also get to stay in a suite, you know, at Caesar's Palace for 2 days. So I mean, that's some crazy shit that they do. They do stuff like that, which is cool. And you have to be an elite player in the subscription side to win these prizes. So,
and even with that contest, there's probably like 400 people that were even in that contest. So even if you're just that, like even if you just enter, you have. I know it's still only less than like 1% chance, but it's still like
I think it was only
1 in
like
400
something. Yeah.
Yep. So there's a good chance.
Like before that, I think before I even I don't know if you were here when they did the win a trip to hang out with the CEO.
Yep.
That shit was crazy too, because I think it was only like 300 people in that one.
I think it was less than that even. I think it was like 200 something.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, David, SuperDraft is super fucking fun. It's super fun. You know, as soon as Hustler came to me, it was like, hey, this is some new shit. It makes a lot of money playing this game. We can have a lot of fucking fun. I was like, all right, I'm in. I know I came to you about it, and you're like, I'm already playing. I was like, well, you want to make some more money? You want to, you know, recruit some players? You know, you want to recruit some friends, have them play with you? I mean, this is crazy. It's like we can go out and if there's anybody here that wants to make some extra money too, you know, coaching players like what we do. So we get paid to recruit people. So if there's anybody that's interested in that too, I mean, we can definitely hook you up. And Craig too. We need to get Craig has his link too, and we need to get you. What we need to do is we need to get you an exclusive link like I have. You know, like it's personal. You know, you just go on and get your own link. So pay like $10 or whatever it is for the whole year. Have your own name, so it's just quicker, easier to type in, and easy to share. Looks professional.
But hopefully, we win some good money tonight.
Well, yeah, I mean, we should. I mean, I feel like even though that one lineup was off last night, I don't think it was the fact that Sabonis just missed, and that was a rare occasion, and then White just didn't play because he didn't have to play, so they just ran him.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, exactly. So
if Derek White even plays his like normal minutes, that lineup probably cashes just alone on that.
And it was crazy because I played White and I played LeBron too, and I just switched 2 players and I was like 20th place. So it's just
it doesn't take much.
No, that's what's crazy about the multiplier, and that's why we're trying to give you guys. So that's what we're going to be doing. From now on is we're going to be doing these. I'm going to have all these different graphics so you guys can legit see stuff. You can legit see what we're looking at. And see some of the guys that we want to play, and then you can kind of make your own decisions from there. We'll talk about some of the players and what they're doing, and we'll talk about obviously Craig's going to bring to the table all these injuries, and he's going to be bringing to the table the lineups. So and his super knowledge of basketball. So it's going to be really helpful with getting these lineups set and getting it going.
And even like what you were mentioning before, like one player in like a lineup can make a huge difference too. Because like there's one contest I was in earlier this year. It was just like a $1 one, but like the difference between me, I won $7, and the difference between that and first place was just like one player, and it was like 12 points. Like that was it.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's what makes the multiplier so different, and especially when they start doing the co-champion and the champion. I mean, that makes it really different.
Hopefully, we get one of those again. It'd be fun to talk about those.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun. And then I'll look one up for maybe they have another. Have you done the $15 play? Where it's a $15 lineup.
They give you $15. No. The one where where you pick, yeah.
Yeah, and
I won a lot of money on those in football.
So the second day I played, I won first place in basketball on that shit. And then it was crazy thing is I was pissed off because I was only in the basic subscription, so I only won like $10. I was like, damn, I would have won so much money.
I won a couple of those free ones in football, but I probably won like 12 of them, and it ended up just being like $10 by the time you added them all up.
Yeah. This is a lot of fun. I mean, I liked playing DraftKings and shit like that, but and I'm all for like still playing that stuff, but I mean, this has just been a different ball game. Yep. We got to start doing I got to get on Prize Picks too, and I mean, you've been doing Prize Picks, and that's like something that we'll start bringing to the table too, because I'm gonna get on that this weekend for sure, and I got to start playing with it. And I mean, you've been making money on Prize Picks too, and it's another new kind of platform that's what came out maybe a couple months ago.
It's been out probably, I think, over a year now.
Really? Well, it's crazy because like SuperDraft has been out for like a long time too, but nobody really hears about it. I still talk to some YouTuber the other day, and he's like, "No, I never heard of that." I'm like, "Never heard of SuperDraft." Yeah. Wow.
But the best thing about Prize Picks as well is you can play in every single state.
Yeah, that's cool.
So that's the two advantages. So we got SuperDraft and Prize Picks. If you guys are out there in a state that does not have like legalized gambling for sports betting or whatever, these are two apps that you can go out there and you can play.
I agree. It's a lot of fun. And David Husk got David to sign up, and David, I think David signed up, I think on the I think it was either the basic one, and like he wants some money like right away, and immediately bumped up to the 100 and started just cashing money out.
Well, that's the worst too. Like because if you're on like a lower plan and like you do well, like you get like third place, you're like, well, what would this have done like in the bigger contest,
Yeah, I think you kept asking me. I was like, all right, let me go look. And you're like, fuck, I would have made so much money.
Yeah, because like there's one guy that I talked to before you, and that's like the thing. Like I just had the free, and he's like, yeah, we got like first place in the bigger contest. I'm like, well, crap.
Yeah, well, look where we're at now, making money, having fun, talking shit on a podcast. What up, Sir Bongs a lot?
So the Raptors starters were announced. They're just the normal 5 of Fred VanVleet and Gary Trent, and let's see, Pascal Siakam, OG Anunoby, and Scotty Barnes.
Scotty Barnes.
Yeah, but he's kind of hurt right now, or he's been like his knee's been bugging him at least.
Well, shit. Let's get out of here. We'll talk
Yep.
maybe. So I'll set something up for tomorrow. Maybe we'll just come on and talk just maybe some dart throws at golf players. I mean, I love
Yep.
playing golf. Golf's one of my favorite sports to play. It's you versus the course. It's the only legal place in the world you can drink and drive. It's a lot of fucking fun. I mean, and literally two ways, like driving a golf ball and driving the golf cart.
Yeah, let's see. So the other two lineups are out too. So the Spurs are starting DeJounte Murray, Derek White, Devin Vassell, Kelton Johnson, Jakob Pearl. That's pretty much what we expected. And the Pacers are starting Sykes, Washington, HumpDay, Sabonis, and Turner. So exactly what we expected. So no surprises, at least. That's always good. No David Dukes.
Put up your dukes.
Watch, he'll play like 16 minutes tonight too.
Well, we got to get you. So that's something I want you to work on is getting a new website for your super draft so we can then I can get this on here and then people can sign up because I want people signing up under you too, man. I want people playing with Coach Craig. And the crazy thing is too, eventually, so the plan is we're going to get a big enough following on a super draft is that where we can make our own contests and then do crazy things like, I'd like to do, giveaways. So, I mean, jerseys, like autographed jerseys, we'll do shit like that. So, I mean, we'll do basketball ones too. So, I mean, anything like I'll be on Pristine and I'll start finding some shit and like we'll do some contests and play up against some of the pros. I mean, we're semi-pros, but
Let's see.
it'd be nice to
Timberwolves lineups
playing together.
Timberwolves lineups out too. Patrick Beverly, D'Angelo Russell's back, Anthony Edwards, Jaron Vanderbilt, and Karl Anthony Towns. So pretty much all the way back. Now, they should win tonight at least against the Thunder.
Oh, Timberwolves. It's a Minnesota thing. They just figure out a ways to lose, to beat themselves.
The Timberwolves. So what is it?
I like the young talent that we have on the team. That's the thing.
So they said in the games that it was like the second half of last year, in the games that Russell and Towns actually played together, they have like a 62% win percentage or something crazy like that. But they're just never played together because Russell's always hurt.
Yeah, Russell's good though. It's crazy. It sucks that he's hurt.
Yep. Might as well get out of here though.
All right, Craig. Tell them where to find you.
Yeah, so you can find me on Twitter at Coach Craig Sport. You can find me on YouTube at Coach Craig Sports. If you're into the Patreons thing, especially for football data, draft prospects, stuff like that, for the Patreon as well, at Coach Craig Sports over there. I think I said that twice, but definitely check all that stuff out. And we'll be back tomorrow for some more NBA DFS, maybe even some golf too for the SuperDraft Pro golf contest.
Yeah, be on the lookout for golf. I think we're going to do something around noon. At least if it well, let's see. You said the slate's at like 1:40 Central Time.
Yeah, it starts at like 1:40 Central Time, I think is what it said.
All right. Yeah, we'll get some golf.
That's a weird start time for golf. I guess
it's
probably West Coast, so it's probably even then it's like 11:40 there. That doesn't. It's weird.
Yeah, let's look at this shit. Oh, it says so. What it says on here though, it says where the fuck is that shit? It says for tomorrow, about 19 hours from now. Yeah, so 19 hours and 20 minutes from now.
That's
That'll put us at 1:40. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, we'll come back and we'll do some content for that. I mean, it'd be nice to at least be having that content for Super Draft. At least if I'm off work, we might as well do it. So be on the lookout. Anybody, if you're still in here, peeps, be on the lookout. We'll do some content tomorrow. I'll probably have the video up, ready so people can, just jump in, comment at least, before we get started, and they can see when it's going down. So probably around, so 1 o'clock Eastern, 10 o'clock Western.
Central. Yep. And I think that's the first PGA or like the first big PGA event of the year too.
And we'll be back for basketball too, same time.
Yep.
So be on the lookout for both things. You can find me, you can find me here. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Twitter at JC Money Design. You can find me on YouTube at JC Money Design. I'm going to be working on getting my website up here soon. I'm going to be doing some giveaways too. So just be on the lookout. Things are going to be big. Big things are going to be coming. There's a lot of things coming in the off season too. So stay tuned. Be aware of what Hustlers got going on too, because there are a lot of things coming. And playmakers tonight. Be on the lookout for playmakers tonight. We're gonna be doing a playmakers episode. So I don't know if you wanted to jump in. We're gonna be doing a show on just kind of some of the players that hit and miss in football and some stuff like that. So if you want to jump in, you're always welcome.
Can talk about some Braxton Berrios.
Shit, dude. What do I call him? Braxton Oopsall Berrios.
Good for him, though. Good for him.
All right. Let's get out of here.
Yep.
See y'all tomorrow.